This is a Z4 M40i with a B58 engine and a 6-speed manual gearbox. This is the BMW Z4 M40i Pure Impulse Edition. BMW's last hurrah to the Z4, because as of today, they will be discontinuing this G29 Z4 in 2026 and there isn't any replacement in sight. Now before we get into why the Pure Impulse Edition is such an important car and the interesting part, which is the 6-speed manual, let's talk about something that we already know about. Now this being the M40i, you get a very familiar engine underneath the hood. Open up this massive clamshell and you find the infamous B58 engine. 3-litre turbocharged inline 6, like everybody already knows, is one of the most potent tuning platforms across the globe. But in this particular car, if you compare it to an M340i, it makes slightly less horsepower. This thing makes 335 horsepower instead of the M340i's 370 to 380, and this car makes 500 Newton meters of torque. But why does it make slightly less horsepower? Well, the simple matter of the fact is the Z4 has a completely different ideology behind it. Initially, we thought it was the 2-port turbo B58 engine which you find in the X5, 740i, etc. But it isn't. BMW has just detuned the same 6-port turbocharged B58 in the Z4 simply because the driving dynamics are totally different. The Z4 is lighter, only rear-wheel drive and made for a completely different driving experience, and trust me, the 40 horsepower loss is not even noticeable. And in case you do notice it, you can easily gain that back with a simple ECU remap if you plan to tune the car. And of course, the center of attention in this particular car is the 6-speed manual. Now, this was first introduced in the A90 Supra and now it has come in the Z4 M40i. But why is it so important? Because throughout this particular generation of Z4, it was never given a manual transmission. And now at the end of its life, BMW has gotten the brilliant idea to give a 6-speed manual, and from 2026 onwards, the Z4 will be no more. And if you think about it, the Z4 M40i is classic BMW. Front-engined, inline 6, manual transmission, rear-wheel drive. I don't think it gets any better than that. Of course, the cherry on top is that the Z4 M40i is a convertible. Now, this car is brand spanking new. It is only 250 kilometers driven, so I'm not going to be pushing the car at all because the B58 requires a little bit of run-in, so till 1,000 kilometers you can't really push the car, so I'm not going to be doing that. Apart from that, well, the Z4 M40i Pure Impulse Edition is a sweet car to drive. The only true sports car in the BMW lineup. Everything else is based on a sedan platform. The M8 is based on the 5 Series platform, the M4 is based on the 3 Series platform, whereas the Z4 is a thoroughbred sports car platform, and it really shows in the way it drives. Everything is super tight. The cabin is honestly tiny, and look at this roof. I mean, it's basically at the top of my head. So if you're a tall person, you're basically looking over the front windshield. And this manual transmission is super nice to drive. Right now the auto downshifts and everything is completely on, so I'm not doing any sort of rev matching. But little beans over here, and it's butter smooth. I mean, this car definitely needs an exhaust if you ask me. If the owner of the video is watching, Miltech is the way to go, like we discussed. But this car is such an important car. BMW has no Z4 planned after this particular generation, and that basically means that the true thoroughbred BMW sports car is coming to an end. So that makes this Z4 M40i Pure Impulse Edition a really special car. And this manual transmission is so slick, so nice to use. Once the run-in is completely done, I can imagine this being such a hoot to drive on these roads. Well, not of course in Mumbai, but probably on like a mountain pass or a really nice ghat over here in Maharashtra. This car will be absolutely amazing. The Z4 also follows one of the most special lineages in BMW's history. The Z models have always been cars that pushed boundaries for design. In 1989, the first ever Z model was introduced called the Z1, and it had the quirkiest doors ever. It was based on the E30 platform, and the Z1 was an amazing sports car. Then came the Z3. It had the infamous Z3M Coupe, also known as the clown shoe because of its quirky design. After that, BMW launched the Z8, which was also featured in a James Bond film and was designed by Henrik Fisker to celebrate the 507 Roadster by BMW. While the Z8 wasn't really a Z3 successor, in 2003 BMW introduced the E84 Z4, the true replacement for the Z3, and in 2009 launched the E89 and finally the G29 in 2018. And when you're done driving the Z4 M40i, the occasion doesn't stop there. This is still the only true two-seater sports car in BMW's lineup. The M2, M4, M8 are all 2+2 cars, and if you want the true BMW sports car, the Z4 M40i is still the only vehicle in their lineup. Moreover, just look at it. The silhouette from the side is just jaw-dropping. And if you ask me, the new Neue Klasse vehicles from BMW have totally lost the plot. This is a reminder that one of the greatest eras for BMW is slowly coming to an end. And if you want to get probably one of the most amazing driving experiences from the BMW lineup, doesn't get much better than the Z4 M40i Pure Impulse Edition. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of the Z4 M40i Pure Impulse Edition. Quite a mouthful. Comment all of that good stuff down below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.